All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the models that we have for this class. So clearly we had to have model classes for students, assignments, and grade entries for the web client to work. So we're just going to basically take care of sort of upgrading these guys from just sort of standard NDB models up to endpoints models, right? First, let's just take a look to see what we have. So students have 4 strings, right? So first name, last name, Rose username, and team. Assignments just have a single string. They have a name, right? So homework 1 or lab 1 or whatever. And then grade entries have a score, right? So a numeric score. That's just an integer. And then they have a couple of keys, right? So grade entries are linked both to students and assignments. And so we have a new kind of property here. So this is an ndb.key property. And when you create a key property, you have to specify the kind that it is, right? Which is going to be the name of the other class. All right, so let's go ahead and get these guys using endpoints. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and grab the endpoints library. The easiest thing to do if you're creating this in the same place that you have movie quotes and weather picks would probably be to just open one of those projects in and copy it over into this other project. So I think holding down the control key and dragging this guy into grade recorder. It's complaining here. It's saying it is out of sync. Let's see, is that really out of sync? Or it might just be something with Git that it's complaining about. Seems like it came in really just fine. The true test will be once we go to make these changes here. So instead of our classes extending NDB model, let's go ahead and type in endpoints model. All right, and if we go to import there, so Control-Shift-O, it should ask you what you want, and it should do an import from endpoints-ready data store .ndb.model, and it should import endpoints model for us. So let's do the same thing for all 3 classes here. So all 3 of them are going to extend endpoints model. Now you remember the difference with endpoints model is that we can, we're using our models as messages, so we have to figure out what to expose here. And honestly, all these fields are going to be just fine, right, to expose for the API. But actually, we're going to want one more thing, which is going to be the entity key for each. And again, that's so that we can delete them. All right. So what I'm going to do is to add an entity key. I have to add in this special underscore message underscore fields underscore schema, and that's going to be a tuple, right? And we're going to add everything that we want to expose here. So entity key, right? So it's interesting. If we didn't add entity key, the default would just be to expose all these guys. But as soon as we add an entity key, now we have to go back and we need to actually add these guys explicitly. All right, so first name, last name, Rose underscore username, and team, right, will be the ones that we expose here. Okay. Assignments going to be very similar. In fact, I might even grab the beginning of this for each one of these, right? So message fill schema is going to have an entity key, and then for this one we have just a name, right? And then for grade entry, right, so the message field schema is going to be the entity key, and then score, and we might as well do the other ones here. So student underscore key and assignment underscore key, and close up that tuple. And my classes look like they're all set here. All right, so what else do I need to do? Let's go ahead. I'm going to close up my movie quotes, kind of get that out of the way. But I do want to make some changes now to app.yaml. So here I'm going to want to make sure that I put a handler here for when I run my API Explorer. So URL is going to be /_AH, excuse me, they're forward slashes here, I guess, AH/API /.star, and the script that we're going to use for this guy is going to be API.app. So API is going to be a module that we're going to create in a little bit here. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do a couple of other things. So the endpoints library, under my libraries, I'm going to do name endpoints and then version is going to be latest. All right. While I'm here, I noticed that I have this commented out here. When I do authentication and I'm going to deploy this guy, in Python, it uses the PyCrypto library. So I need to make sure that I add that library as well. We're actually not going to be doing a lot of testing here on localhost. If we did, we'd have to download the PyCrypto library locally, but that's going to be something that Google is already going to have, and we're not going to worry about that. So that looks good. So we have models ready for endpoints. So when we come back for our next lesson, we'll go ahead and start working on our API. All right, we'll see you later.